Hello everybody and welcome back to Learn by Play here on the D&D channel with the Encounter Roleplay crew. My name is Will, I'm a D&D sex icon. I'm back today for yet another episode of Learn by Play, where we pick up after a very eventful last episode in which we lost one of our friends. But we're back here today, so let's go around the cast and crew and remind ourselves of who we are and who we're playing. And let's start with Mythmatic. Myth, how's it going, my friend?
Hi! It's going great. Feeling wonderful. Came back from TwitchCon, ready, rejuvenated, ready to roll some die. I'm very excited. Hi there, I'm Mythmatic. I'm a mustache sex icon. Need I say more? Back to you, Will. I'll be playing Captain Turntides Bromley. He's a sea sorcerer. I'm excited, but he's not because his friend died. Anyway, back to you, Will.
That's true. Of course, we have Greg, Groomjack502 back with us tonight. Greg, how's it going, my friend?
It's doing well, buddy. It's doing well. I can't wait to get back into the mindset of Flinrich Downcoin, my stout halfling rogue, formerly a 17th level wizard who has had the magic burned from his veins. But he's back with a brand new beat, and we'll see how We'll see how Waterdeep treats him this time around. Can't wait.
Fantastic stuff. And of course, we have Lindy back with us tonight. Lindy, how's it going?
Oh, I'm doing super spiffy. I am not home right now, but I am hyped for some, Waterdeep Dragon Heist. I will be playing Drexel Lucian, as it has now been revealed that she's a Lucian, even though she kind of just got disowned. It's complicated. She's feeling a lot of things right now. We're going to have to see what happens. There's a lot of
Lindy's steaming from jail, everyone.
It's a whole, yeah, you've got a kind of horror fan thing going on just above your head there, and yeah,
we'll send help.
It's a whole look.
It's actually the in-laws.
Blink twice if you need us to call someone. What was that?
She's trapped. She can't say anymore. But I'll remind you guys of just smile and don't look behind you. But yes, we have, of course, I'll remind you guys what happened last week on the show. The party had a big upset last week in which Sal, played by Tool School, left the show in bloody fashion after having been let off the hook, perhaps, by the Xanathar Guild and Lucas Blackfire, who managed to save their lives, but only because Drexel's mother, oh god, what's her name? Time to find a name. Her name was Nicoletta. That was it. I knew it sounded like an ice cream bar. When I wrote it down, Nicoletta. That was what was Nicoletta, right?
Nicoletta the ice cream.
Nicoletta Lucian. Sidebar: check out my new ice cream brand coming out soon.
Nicoletta,
but yes, managed to buy the safety of the party, in particular Drexel's safety, but that came at a price. Came at the price of Sal being sold out to the Xanathar Guild because they needed some blood, they needed a head to roll, and so it was Sal who went out dancing to classical music as he actually asked Nicoletta to end his life. And so the party have rushed in to find Nicoletta over Sal's body, a dagger through his heart, while the Xanathar kill squad have begun to bust their way in, clearly with deadly intent, but they too are surprised to find Sal dead. So I want to quickly do something a little fun. Now, we leveled up at the end of last week, which now we're level 3, and so in this moment in which you see Sal as being dead, your friend, your colleague, whatever he was to you, your mentor. In this moment, all of the characters experience being forged in fire and for the first time losing someone in the team. And I want to go around and I want you guys to tell me what's going through your head as you see Sal dead on the floor, and also explain to us a little bit how this has affected your level up. and what sort of choices you decided to take. So let's start with Captain Turntides. How does what's running through his head right now?
Yeah, so Captain Turntides already didn't trust Drexel. I even have it in my notes. I tried to show it, but it's backwards. It says "Don't trust Drexel," underlined a couple times with an exclamation point. And I wrote that a couple sessions ago. We already had that scene where I was questioning what Drexel's was doing and talking about. So he's kind of been uneasy about who even Drexel is. I mean, out of the funk of him kind of like getting out of the amnesia, that concussive state of him not knowing what everything was. But when that fog kind of cleared, he still had the question of who the hell Drexel was and why is she in this? And then he kind of like let it die down and didn't ever really question it again, but because he trusted everybody's judgments. And then when he kind of still, last session, in last episode, we watched Sal eat it. When he died, and moments before, Turntides was also once again hit with confusion as Flinrich kind of just like he said something cryptic and left again, leaving the room to me and Drexel and Nicoletta, the one pure person in that group that I know of that is a part of the family of the Arborettis. And when he left, in my confusion, I also left because there are things that I don't know still, but have unvoiced mistrust of Drexel. And then when we left and looked back to see the very serene death of Sal, that's when I think maybe we'll see a little bit more of a vocal mistrust, and I guess the mistrust from Turntides to be, I guess, a little bit more expressive than how it used to be. Because he also feels like it's kind of like an "I told you so," as in, why are we? Right. Well, I saw this coming. Something was going to happen, but I didn't know how to explain it because I don't know my place. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm still looking through the book for my level up, and I'll let you know. Nice. How it will affect. But yeah, that's in the narrative, that's where he's coming from.
Fantastic.
That's
okay,
how
cool.
It's going to be affected.
Awesome. How about then Flinrich?
Well, Flinrich, I had him going a slightly different way as far as his archetype. I was going to go the mastermind route and have him kind of dictate and help and use the powers of the party to kind of further his own way. But since this is occurring at this particular moment when Sal is murdered in front of him, it's the last touchstone he has to reality, I decided to go with assassin because he was dark already and had his own kind of way that he was going about his own personal agenda. But now, without anybody that he really gives a shit, Turntides being the exception, but Bromley can't remember anything, so it's not as endearing as it was or would be if Bromley was 100% Brom. So he's going with assassinate so he can get his mission accomplished, which is to burn Waterdeep to the ground, to the water line, to the sand, to the sewers, to whatever. He wants it gone.
Awesome.
It took his buddy. It took 10 years of his life. He's ready for some payback now.
Awesome. Cool. Then what about Drexel? How has this moment changed her? Because this is your mum standing over the body of a man who's been sort of mentoring you, I suppose, for the past week or so.
Yeah. So Drexel and her mom have never really had the best of relationship. She's kind of been the bastard child of the family. She couldn't really carry on the Lucian name in the way that they wanted her to be originally doing. So she always never felt like she was good enough. And then she kind of was like, well, maybe with this new family that we're kind of breaking up, forming this little we'll be able to, I'll feel needed, appreciated, maybe. And then she sees that, and she's pretty new to the game. She's really young. I think she's only like 19. So
yeah,
she was not expecting it at all, and it's kind of like rocked her. She's probably just as pale as a ghost right now. Was not expecting that at all. Like, she expected them to talk, maybe try to go out the back door. I don't know, anything but that. And so she's kind of just wants to hide away and not deal with any of it right now. And so she's going way of the Shadow Monk in order to try to lay low, strike where needed, and just deal with what's been given to her right now. She's also just been formally disowned.
That is also true, yeah.
She's not in a good place right now.
Not such a hot spot. Okay, cool. So the three of you look on as you see your dead friend Sal in front of your very eyes with Nicoletta standing over his body, and maybe the 10 or so goons who are in front of you. They seem to be somewhat bemused by the fact that he's already dead, and don't seem very interested in staying any longer, having seen that he is dead. So how do you guys... Are you all there? Did any of you leave the scene, or would you all be here to see this moment, I think?
I'd be there. I wouldn't know that he died until I saw him dead. Yeah.
Drexel's too in shock to move. She's just standing there, like, jaw open, eyes locked.
Flinrich would see that he is gone and then leave.
Okay. So Captain Turntides and Drexel. Nicoletta seems to be just like sobbing over his body. The kill squad are sort of checking that he's dead and then moving out. What would you like to do as you see Flinrich has spotted this, but he's just leaving?
If Flinrich spots and leaves, I'm still gonna be confused, and I think I'm gonna leave as well. Sal's always trusted Flinrich. I'm still very confused at what just happened. He's dead. There's a lot of rage. I am going to probably keep my eyes on Drexel and not and lock eyes and not keep my eyes off of her if she is in sight, and then I will back away and try to catch up with Flinrich and try to get maybe some answers out of that.
Okay.
I think Drexel would she's completely oblivious that Turntides is staring at her. She's just doesn't know what to do for a moment, and then she realizes she's alone out front, and she feels like she can't go into the building. But she's also, she just kind of turns around and tries to follow where Flinrich and Turntides went, but kind of just in a daze with maybe some tears just streaming down her face, but silent besides that.
So, Flinrich, are you trying to go unseen from Bromley and Drexel? Are you trying to shake them off, or are you just going, and if they catch up with you, that's fine?
No, he's headed for the drow.
Okay. Back down to the cave?
Where we were told not to go, yes.
No, the place where you were told by Bregandef never to go again, or if you did go there,
when we reach a spot that would be an intersection that we would take a turn towards any familiar place, I'm going to stop Flinrich, or at least attempt to.
Flinrich, this way.
No, it's this way. You can go that way,
What you
Brom.
mean?
We've been pushed around. They just killed Sal. We're all next. I'm not going out like some patsy. If I'm going out, I'll go out with some drow shanking me in some garlic-smelling cave. Or I can convince him to help us out a bit. We'll see.
Right. It was her the whole time. I knew there was something about her. Couldn't trust her. How long was she in?
I don't know. Just remember that Sal trusted her. Trusted her with his life.
And now she has it. And now she has it. Fine.
She owes us.
Look at the path, and then I continue following Flinrich to continue the conversation. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Flynn would just say, she owes us now, Brom. She knows it. Nicoletta knows it. Sal knew it.
Right.
That was the price.
Fine. Sal was a good man. Loyal. To a lot. It seems.
You see what that got him.
I'll see what it gets us. I guess I'll have to. Fine. To a dark cave. Smelling of garlic, you say?
Flinrich looks around. Yeah, Flinrich looks around. Is Drexel anywhere to be seen?
Yeah, she's trailing behind a good bit, but she's following just slowly. Kinda
Reminiscent of the serpent, but not. It's Drexel.
Flinrich will go to hold up his hand to kind of stop her advance,
Viper.
so he can have a moment with Brom. But then he remembers what he just said to Brom about Sal trusting her, and he instead beckons her to join the circle of two.
She'll kind of look confused for a sec, pause, and then kind of walk forward, still at her slower pace, because you didn't seem to be like in a rush. Big signals, so she'll join up with you guys.
Okay. All right. Yeah, exactly. So she, as she approaches, we always do the single ladies dance. So as she approaches, I'm going to, I guess I do like a double take, because I see you doing some signals towards somebody. I look and then I do a double take, and as she approaches, I'm going to take this is the only time that we've ever seen Turntides actually be able to use the magic that he has, but he doesn't know that he has it. So anyway, in the narrative, he's going to grab his flintlock and aim it towards her and pull the trigger, and it clicks as it has been. It's still waterlogged. The flint is busted and broken and probably fallen out or rusted. But as he does click it, it starts to frost around the metal pieces of the fixtures of the pistol itself. You also feel a very focused breeze, cold breeze, hit you, and your hair, your parted hair, starts to flap in the wind. As just I'm staring, also even icier stare down the sights as I'm looking through down at Drexel.
Back away. Just because Sal can trust you doesn't mean I can let you walk and make me pray for you and your dogs.
Okay, I'll just, okay, I'll be back.
And I back away, like, I guess there is, like, the two of you. I distance myself, and so I have you in both of, like,
she probably
I can't trust.
5 feet at least when you did that.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm also backing up too.
All right, so we're gonna do the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right. So as we're all standing in a triangle, Flinrich will look from Drexel to Bromley. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna do everybody a favor and kill each other, or I'll throw a knife and she'll punch and you'll do whatever the hell you do now, bro.
I have nothing against you, Flinrich.
I don't want to kill anyone.
No.
Oh, you don't?
This is the point where we gotta make a decision, guys. We either walk and make this triangle as big as the world, or we come together and we talk a bit. What's it gonna be?
I'm okay with talking. I like talking to a certain extent. Not good at it, but I don't mind it. Don't hate it.
Brom, what do you think?
Turntide doesn't say anything, and he doesn't say anything as he lowers the gun and puts it in the holster. Actually, keeps it out by his hip. Still eyes locked on Drexel.
How long have you been with the family, Drexel?
Which one? Like the Lucians? I was unfortunately kind of born into that.
Got that.
And then, like, the other one, well,
The
I
other
don't
one,
know.
the Arboretes. We have a name. You don't
yes,
need to be afraid of it.
Well, so, I don't know. Sal made a deal with my mom, and then I went off with him to have him teach me stuff, and that's when I joined. So not
And what did you
much
learn?
longer.
What do you know?
You know what I know. I haven't done it. I haven't
Do
been
I?
anywhere else. Yes.
So you've only been around since I've been back.
Yes. Right about before Flinrich got out of jail. I saw him in prison a couple times, though. Didn't know he was up ready exactly, but
Would that have changed anything?
no. Could have been like, hey, I'm in the family now. Kinda, sorta, but that was it.
I don't like this, Flynn. I already don't know a lot. Though I wish I could. Every day I'm grasping to think of what I once knew. And now things are kept in the dark is not making me quite happy, especially those I see right here in front, but there is a bigger shadow cast behind them and I can't see in that shadow. If I, of course, am still trying to figure out what's in mine.
Well, you see,
It's all very
Brom,
frustrating.
that's the best thing that you've said since I've seen you. We've been running around this town trying to play the same game that's been played for ages. Arboretes, Lucians, the Xanathar Guild, everybody established with their own little fiefdoms and kingdoms under the woods and under the streets. But what we should have been doing this whole time, Brom, is figuring out what's in your head. Figuring out what I know. Putting them both together. And finding what you lost and what I can't find. We don't have to play this game. The hell with the Arboretes. The hell with these families and guilds. He looks over at Drexel. Three of us. The doc. We put them all together. We figure out what's in your head. To hell with all these schemes. This is Waterdeep. They're not gonna let us make money. They're not gonna let us rise to power. They're gonna kill us one by one. And they started with Sal. Now, before I watch them kill her, and he points to Drexel, Well, God forbid kill you, Brom. We have a new mission. Get inside that head. Put whatever I have with it. And then we do whatever we want.
Turntides wipes a tear from his face with the hand that is holding his flintlock as he approaches Flynn and embraces for a hug as he starts to weep. This time, once again, appreciative of someone who actually wants to help him. He does do a bit of a twirl and look over the shoulder, I guess over the head because you're half, and towards Drexel, and just raises an eyebrow and a look of mistrust but acceptance. And he wipes his face again and then turns and walks down the path, saying nothing towards what he thinks is the path towards the caverns. Anyway, it's the path that Flinrich was going, though he may not be accurately going there because he's never been. So he continues to walk in a dramatic fashion like he does, but he may not know where he's going. But to really excuse himself from the conversation.
During the embrace, which for Flinrich is heartfelt, he will press his forehead against Brahms in the fashion in which the old guys had done it to this point. And as Brahm breaks away, he'll square up his, though a halfling, a stout halfling, his broad shoulders as he looks over at Drexel and opens his arms wide.
She'll kind of hesitate for a moment because hugs are like a new thing for her. They're not really a family thing she's done up to this point. Then she'll kind of just like walk over and then like just fall to her knees and quietly cry a little bit and hug him back. Then just thanks.
And while she was down there, Flynn would drop his forehead against hers, and as you would kind of put your eyes back up, his would be boring into you, and his embrace doesn't get hard or forceful, but he simply conveys to you, Sal trusted you. I trust you. Help me kill this city.
Yeah, of course.
Let's
Thank
go.
you. Alright. Whew.
Okay. So yeah, you catch up with Captain Bromley and head down to the docks, and then away from the docks, yeah, you direct him. X marks the spot for Captain Bromley. So you point him in the right direction because you've been there, Flynn, which is not far from your warehouse, and down off the sort of cliffside to a cavern, which you have been told that if you ever enter into again, you will be killed. That was, of course, before.
Right.
Yeah.
What we're going to do, Will, is he's going right up to the entrance of the cavern. And he is, because we're still on the beach, right? It's the beach that kind of drips down into that cavern system. He's going right up to the edge
back.
Right. I'm going right up to the cavern, and he's going. Right.
Who dares disturb my slumber?
He's going to build a fire and set up right outside that door. He is not entering the cavern.
Are you going to let it get late? Are you waiting there for a while?
Yeah, he's going to, because, I mean, we're in evening right now, right? Because, he's just going to sit and light a campfire on the beach. It's the beach episode. We always do very well here on Learn by Play when we do beach episodes. They always end horribly for anybody that's ever.
Intern episode, death episode,
pretty much everyone
beach
dies.
Musical.
It's not what you think.
Oh no!
And everyone
That
wears
tall
all of their
squall's going to be
clothes.
very happy he missed this one, right? Yeah, so he would just build a small, he'd get like, a dozen stones, some driftwood, light it up, and just sit around the fire and wait.
Definitely. Out in the distance, the dockside workers and the like are packing up their equipment and heading to the bars for the night and moving away. So over the next few hours, the beach becomes almost completely empty, and it grows incredibly cold as well. The fire which you light is keeping the three of you warm. Nothing seems to be emerging from the cave for the first few hours, at least, that you've been here. Is there any pertinent conversations or things that people would like to be doing during this, what is really a short rest? Good. Is it silent?
Leveling up. It's gonna be
basically had your character shoot something.
Yeah, it's gonna be mostly silent. Yeah. Turntides is pretty much in a very confused, angsty state right now. Much about his own mind, as well as why he just lost a friend, and he can't stop thinking about Sal and the memories that he did have long ago, as well as the most recent ones.
I think Drexel would be going through any forms for battle that Sal had taught her, because he was teaching her stuff. So she'd be going just through those motions, and then after she went through that a couple times to get like her jitters out, she'd probably just doodle in the sand a little bit, maybe just like play with the mind flare tentacle. She's bored and sad, doesn't really know what to do.
This is definitely the Phantom Menace, and Sal is definitely Qui-Gon Jinn, and Drexel is definitely Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Definitely Obi-Wan Kenobi. She'll cast light, put it out. Cast
The
light,
negotiations were short.
put it out.
Dibs on Grievous.
Kenobi.
Greg, did you have something?
Yeah, Flinrich would send because around the Waterdeep they have like the little corner couriers and stuff that travel hither and yon and give messages. He would get urchin-esque to run and deliver a message to the dock that is directing her to go to the yawning portal, where they have those rooms that they have been kind of gifted and given. Instead of staying, nowhere near the warehouse for right now. Just the yawning portal seems to be holy ground / neutral territory for even the most despicable of these guilds. So, that's probably the best place for her right now, as she is a high valued individual with knowledge that all of these guilds are going to want at some point. And then he's just going to sit there and wait for what he knows is coming.
So, as you send a message, come back. By this time, it's getting closer to midnight, and the moon looms large over Waterdeep. The three of you have been looking into the flames, and if you ever looked into a campfire and just sort of gotten lost in that movement of flame as it changes and moves, especially if you have something heavy on your mind, like the loss of your good friend Sal, I could imagine that right now it's a very quiet and contemplative mood in the camp. That is, of course, broken as around midnight, darkness surrounds you. It's very sudden and it's very cold, and it's a blackness through which not even your eyes, which penetrate normal dark with dark vision, can see through. And once again, you recognize yourselves to be in this orb of darkness. This is the third time for some of you that you've been in this orb of darkness. Drexel would remember the last time was when, of course, you fought Nihilur and defeated the Mind Flayer, as well, with the help of Bregan Daef. However, you got the sense that it was an incredibly costly battle for the Drow, and that many of them died during this.
Point.
Just a little bit. As the darkness surrounds you, once again, you feel a presence moving through the darkness with that same garlicky breath that you recognize from before. The voice is more ragged than previously. One would suggest that this person has had an injury recently, which has greatly affected their breathing capacity and their ability to speak. Possibly some kind of like burn, you're not sure. But the voice says, "Why are you back here? We told you never to return."
We're not inside. Can't be mad.
Things are going to start happening in this city. And the only beings that we want to make sure we show respect to is this group. You all helped us. You saved us. We fought together. We want to make sure that our actions do nothing to hinder the business that you have in this cesspool of a city. That is why I have come here. I don't need to know your plans. I just need to know that what we intend to do will not make us enemies.
I believe that you still owe us a lot of money. And many of our kin fell dead.
The Flayer's dead.
Friend.
Yes, the creature is killed. The figure gets very close to Drexel. With thanks to this one.
Glad I could help.
What is it that you want?
Turntides is
Friends are dead
audibly
too.
uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Is this question directed at Drexel? Because he immediately dismissed Flynn the first time they talked like this, and he wants to make sure he's not stepping in on a conversation again.
No, it moves closer to you, Flinridge, as you seem to be the speaker for your group. And it asks you what it is you want.
How invested is your group to this city? We are not here to build Waterdeep. We are here to take the piece that it's taken from us tenfold. And if that leaves behind an ash with a dock sticking out of it, so be it.
We have no love of this city either. From what we have witnessed of you and your crew, your desires align with ours, at least for now. We care not for your profiteering.
Nor do I. Those days are over. We're in a different type of business now.
What business are you in?
The most lucrative business of all. Chaos.
Very well. You will not cross our path in your quest. Bregandaev and your own group are still in an allegiance. For a promise was made, and we do not so easily forget promises.
Good. Neither do we, and that's why we are here. And when we get the money that we owe you for the protection and for the activation of your sword arms, you can expect it to be delivered. But until then, should we align ourselves against the periphery interest of yours, please do us the courtesy of letting us know, and we will cease activities against such an objective.
If you intend to
not
kill,
to cross.
Yeah. It says, if you intend to kill, then kill. If you intend to burn, then burn. Such is the way of Brigandea.
Then we are of like mind.
You sense a nod, even though you don't really see one through the darkness. But you sense an agreement, the movement of air from you as this person is very close to you. Very well, then. Your friend is dead. You must grieve, as we grieve for our dead friends. He was a noble person. That should be remembered.
In every flame that licks every building in Waterdeep, I will remember Sal.
This path for you, this path of chaos, it only ends one way. This you must surely all realize. And he circles round the crew, getting close to each one of you as he says this.
Yeah.
Are you all willing to die for your quest?
It's better than dying for other reasons.
I feel like part of me already has.
He feels like he said something out of turn as he tries to reel back his words.
So sorry.
You sense some, maybe it's mirth, maybe it's a slightly sardonic kind of laugh from the drow. Very well then. It is good to know who we are in business with. We will stay out of your way and you will stay out of ours. If anything changes, you will know. Good luck. Almost as soon as it came, the darkness is gone once again, leaving your eyes adjusting to the flickering light of the fire, which was still there. It was just invisible. You could still feel the heat radiating from it. Once again, you see the cave before you, and it's as though no one was there. Looking at the sand, see if there are any footprints. You see none, and you are left alone.
The darkness clears and my hands are up as if I was just being stuck up or held up. Still very uncomfortable. He's never dealt with drow like this before.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is Turntide's first time with the drow. The garlic breath. Drexel's kind of just hugging herself a little bit.
Yeah, Flynn looks off-put as well. He's uneasy.
Chaos, Flynn.
Bread.
Oh yeah. The next thing we need to find, and he stands up, but is still probably, if Bromley's seated or standing, he's probably eye level with Brom, and he'd drop a hand onto Brom's shoulder, either way, if it's up or right in front of him.
Right.
We got to find someone that can get rid of a curse. I think that might be what's going on with your head.
All right.
He coughs up some seawater.
This if we need it.
I guess
I'll hold a little mind player tentacle.
On cue.
Yes.
So, who do we know that can get rid of the curse?
I haven't been here in 10... Oh.
Yeah, I guess we kind of like look at each other, realize that there's no... And then we just both look at Drexel.
Well, there's always the church. Some of the churches, temples. There's one I'm quite familiar with.
I don't do well in the church, but...
You know...
Fine.
Neither do I, but I can't seem to escape it.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there a church at one point that was, it might be gone now, it seemed kind of culty at the time, some type of, like, Kraken worshippers or something? Like, real sea-heavy in their worship.
Not sure about that.
I'll allow it.
You can roll me a, goodness, like an intelligence check, I guess.
Can Drexel roll one as well?
Oh yeah, probably just Drexel really to know if they're still around. Because the two of you guys have been, okay. Either just out of jail or just sort of alive again.
Alright, let's see how this does.
Ooh.
18!
Absolutely. Yeah. You know that the Kraken Society still run. Certainly across the land. Waterdeep, they definitely have like a cell here. They're not like open. They are basically a cult. They're like illegally practicing. They see it as they would see it as like a religious persecution. You suppose?
Yeah.
But yeah, you know that they're still around, and that there is an old abandoned ship, which is not far from here, which is out on the beach in like a cove. Which is where they would operate from. Sort of run aground old barnacled ship.
So, I wasn't exactly thinking the Kraken Society, but if that's where you want to go, they're basically a cult. But I know where they're hiding at.
Great, yeah, that's it, the Kraken Society, right.
Yeah, the cult.
That sounds great. So
we shouldn't advertise.
Most religions are cults. No, I mean, come on. I mean, Brahm's coughing up salt water. You have to go to, like, this calls for a specialist, right? It's either them or the druids, and
I mean, you can really go to any... Never mind. I won't get into religion now. And then she'll kind of just start walking towards where she knows.
Is it religion just cult, but with tax breaks? Totally, right?
Well, you gotta file them.
He says, hoping not for an answer. Yeah, right.
The difference between, like,
all right, guys.
Kraken and never mind. You know what? I'm just gonna shut up. I'm the only one who's parents and age. It's fine.
The ship name is the Charybdis, and it is an old, long dead and beached vessel, which
the slip disc.
Probably don't know. Did you say the what disc? Sorry.
The slip disc.
I'm sorry. I was hearing what I wanted to hear clearly. The Charybdis. I was.
I'll play it.
Sammy heard that. Sammy being the operative word. Yeah. So if you head down to this ancient old cove, it's probably like a 2-hour walk from where you're at. So by the time you get there, it's like 2 a.m. And if you ever walked on the beach late at night, it gets really, really cold and windy. So it is a pretty sort of weather-beaten group that we find ourselves with. As you turn a corner of a cliff and you'll see the Charybdis. It is old, covered in barnacles, and it looks like it's been shelled out. You can see that there are lanterns and lights on the deck of the ship, despite it being almost like sunken into the cove and half sort of sunken into the sand. The weight of it is so heavy that it's just sort of slowly, probably over the years, bringing the vessel down. And you can see that there are some figures that are moving across the ship with lanterns. So clearly that there's a crew there.
You know, it's not too late to turn around and go back to the Temple of Helm if you'd prefer. I mean, I know some people there, but, you know, we're already here, so it's whatever you want. You know, it's cool.
Will, I'm making some assumptions with Flinrich in that because of his station as a mage 10 years ago, he probably had at least some kind of dealings with a lot of these guilds and societies at a level that would be well above this. I doubt he would had any direct stuff with the Kraken Society, but knowledge of that
man.
and like of the Temple of Helm, and he was a high practicing wizard. So, it would be. I mean, if he's dismissive of the other temples, it's probably a bias based off of prior experience. So, if the Temple of Helm is
the Temple of Helm 19 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like the good guys are you're probably considered like narcs, like the. You know, like the good clerics are probably considered like they're going to turn you in to the cops because they, you know, that's where all the cops go. All the good paladins go to the Temple of Helm, you know, and all the good temples. So yeah, Kraken Society 10 years ago, a lot smaller than it would be today, but very similar in nature. Definitely the kind of people that you would have dealt with before. They're religious zealots and fanatics that worship a sea god. Which, as far as you're concerned, doesn't really matter too much, you know, as long as they're paying and you know they're giving you money. It's then they've worked, you know, extensively with what they call the Zentarim. Yeah, so they're kind of on a similar level to the Zents.
So yeah, I would see these guys as being almost the like the crime level Waterdeep equivalent of like the crime doctor or the street nurse, where if somebody gets shot, you know, they have a doctor or somebody that's a medical professional in the area that will stitch them up and get the bullet out.
Doctor.
And instead of going to the Temple of Helm, you'd go to the Kraken Society at the old burned out boat.
Love it.
You know, because they're not calling the cops. You know, they're just taking your coin.
Thanks for
There's
your
no way
donation.
these guys are calling the cops on you. That much you're pretty certain of.
Yeah. Drexel's just like, Temple of Helm doesn't call the cops on me when I go there.
Yeah, they're terrible people. Let's just, you know, you spit up a little seawater and we should be all right. We should
I'm just
be,
going to put my hood up and
just wait a couple of minutes. I can't do it really on command, but I feel one
just
coming.
like we're literally by an ocean. Just put some in your mouth and hold it.
Oh, do you have like shy brine or something? Okay.
I've got shy brine. I've got brine fright.
I go to fill my mouth full of seawater, and as soon as it touches my tongue, I throw up more with seawater, as if it was a gag reflex, and it triggered more.
Don't pry it.
I go, I did it. Worked. It worked.
Okay.
Do you need to fill a flask with it or something? This is going to go well. All right.
Yeah, I grab a tankard that was on my belt and I fill it with seawater, ready to make a show of it.
Okay.
Okay.
And it does have a. Yeah, this is the one I have just to butter them up.
It's so on brand.
Oh, this
they sell merch. They definitely have a teaspoon.
It's a merch booth. They just sell my swag. That's why. That's where the sales are.
There's two stages here at the Kraken Society, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Scientology. Like, you kind of just buy into the Kraken Society and get more enlightened the more you do it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then you learn to love it.
The Kraken Society is like Burning Man with divine magic. You just
exactly. All right then. So, you guys head over towards the Charybdis. You quickly come into sight of people who are moving along the ship, and it's not long before you're spotted as well, unless you're trying to go unnoticed, which I get the sense you're trying to be found.
I think Drexel would maybe try to be, like, at least appear as innocuous and as average and unremarkable as possible, just in the back of the group. Okay. Like, notice me.
I'm not here. Yeah, definitely. You hear calls of "Avast!" and then a few moments later, there are about 5 or so shadowy figures coming along with lanterns in one hand, and looks like they've got sort of hands-on weapons at this point in the other. They are wearing robes, and many of them are hooded as well, so that you can't see all of their faces. From what you can see of their faces as they grow closer, they're not all human. There's a couple of a pair of half-orcs among them. and what you believe to be a tabaxi as well. However, all of them have this sort of slightly wet-looking skin, and not just from the rain either. It's almost like a film over their skin as you see them, a slightly slimy kind of film over their skin. It gives it a kind of flush, slimy look to it. As they approach, as they get closer, they stop about 10 feet away, not having drawn any weapons. But one of them calls out, "Who goes there?"
Brom, you talk Buccaneer. Go ahead.
How are you? As I cough up more, and I go, Yar. Ahoy. There.
As I'm looking at Flynn, because Flynn's usually the talking guy for the family.
We want
the
healing.
lead man sort of, he raises a lantern so he can come out here where I can see you better.
Yar.
And I limp my way across, and
We're here for some help. Healing, if you will.
As you come into the light, you can similarly see the man's eyes looking back at you, and his eyes widen in what is something close to astonishment. And he looks very surprised to see you and excited at the same time. Wait. Bromley? Captain Bromley.
Aye, that
you?
be me. I turned
Captain.
tides, aye.
It's been a long time, and I think you best come with us. Someone here who very much would like to meet you.
Very well.
and I approach.
Please, come with us. You won't be harmed.
Very well.
They bid you follow them. Flemrich and Drexel, you similarly seem to be invited as well. Though they pay next to no attention to the two of you. They do not seem interested in even looking at the two of you.
Like a sea
the
messiah.
five of them. Yeah, the five of them are giving you the sort of the messiah treatment, really, of some kind of welcome home almost. Several of them are whispering to one another, and you overhear a conversation. Could that be him? I think so. Really? And looking back at you, and yeah, definitely. They seem excited to see Bromley, and you get up to the ship, the long gangplank which winds its way up, and aboard the ship, the rest of the cult have gathered. Of the Kraken Society. There's about 20 of them in total. There really aren't that many actual members to this gang, although you suppose it's fairly substantial compared to like the Arboretti family, which is probably 10 to 15 people max. But they
is
they're
Hiroki
all...
here?
You're right. Just said hello. Wait a minute. Old reference.
Out of the
One
abyss?
guy out there, I guess. Yeah, wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh my god, he said
It's
it!
2015 again. But you see about 20 of them gathered or so. One of their number has a similar sort of peg leg situation going on. His leg is sort of barnacled even on the woods, and warped, gnarled, old wood of this peg leg, and wears an eye patch and a bandana. Truly one of the most pirate.
We'll never know. Piratey of the bunch. I'm sure... Oh, there he is. Okay.
And you'll never know what happened next.
We'll never know. We got you. You're back.
Cool, sorry about that.
That's all right.
So, yes, you see this figure before you, the eye patch on, peg leg, wrapped in a similar shawl robe, and you hear him say, Brom! Captain Brom! Is that you?
Hi.
Do I recognize this person?
You do. You recognize this man to be your first mate, Bennett.
The Dragonborn.
Bennett was
Right?
with
Was he
you. He's actually human. He was with you the night of the
Right.
The night with the shipment, and you lost your memory.
Right.
Flinrich, you would also recognize this man. Drexel, you've never seen him before. He's a lot older. And similarly, he's got this 10 years. He looks roughly 10 years older. 10 years to the day. And he's got this sort of slightly shaggy beards that he didn't used to have before, which looks like it's got a bit of seaweed in it as well. With his one good eye, he looks you up and down. I didn't believe the rumors, Captain. I didn't think you'd be back. I thought they were just telling stories, but it must be true. Both of us, sent back by the gods.
Both of us? What happened to you? What happened to us?
As I kind of approach, my defensive gate has been warded off, I guess, and it is eroded as now I've kind of relaxed, and now it's turned into a casual conversation.
What happened? You sent back as well? No, nothing. Just it seems as if it's an old, I remember talking to Flynn, and I remember walking on the seashores of Waterdeep, not 2 weeks ago. 3 days ago. I don't even know. How much time is... Days ago.
X amount of days. Days ago, yeah. It's been about a week.
An arbitrary amount of time ago.
Yeah, I don't even remember. Bennett says, it took a while for it to come back to me as well, but I've had some help here. You see, when I washed up on the shore, I landed right here, and he kind of points off into the sea not far from here. Violet Charybdis calling me home. These fellas here found me and cleaned me, bathed me, saved me from my wounds, and, well, they taught me a thing or two as well about what's out there, about what happened to us. Slowly it started to come back to me, and I remember that night, the one where we were on that ship. He looks at Flinrich as well. You. Are you Arboretti as well? The wizard?
No, I'm Brahm's friend. I'm not with a family.
Look familiar. And you?
I have no mind.
He looks at Drexel.
Hi, I'm new.
Pay her mind.
He looks sort of trustingly over towards Brom and distrustfully over towards Drexel. Be that as it may, Missy. Brom says you're fine, and you're fine, but I'd like to know who I'm talking to.
Name's Drexel. That's really all there is to know.
No last name, then?
Not anymore.
Lucian.
Ah, I see. That makes a wee bit more sense. Well, you're all fine.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be
to-
alive without them, so... They're truer than
You're
most.
only as good as the crew at your back, Captain, as well you taught me.
Aye.
Perhaps it's best we sit down in my cabin and have a chat. These fellas here, they've been waiting for your arrival. See as some kind of answer. Perhaps you can help us
Seems
solve
so.
the question. Yeah, they all seem fascinated by it. Also, Drexel, the Mind Flayer tentacle that you have, all eyes are on that as well, as it's like flapping around. They seem super interested in that. Like, it's almost like a religious object to them at you. It's like you're holding something of great value. But Bennett kind of brushes him away and leads you into his cabin out of the rain, and it's a very simple captain's quarters, really. An old, decayed, damp. It smells like damp and it's wet underfoot, but at least it's warmer away from the wind. He puts up his lantern inside so that he can sit aside from a desk with the rest of you, and he says, "Rum!" as he gets out this big sort of bottle of rum and some glasses.
I could go for some. Yes, 3.
Yeah.
Don't normally drink, but yes, I'll try some. It's been a day.
All right, you don't drink it all.
Don't be rude. Drink.
It'll warm your knuckles.
Never drank before. Starts with
Drink.
pirates.
Oh, that'd be so bad.
This will be fine.
Don't walk the plank. You'll never come back.
Yar. Yeah, so he pours you out some measures of rum, and it's hard swill, really, but it does warm you up. And it looks like he's probably already been in a few of his cups.
This is the
Good.
worst.
It's good stuff. Clearly, you've never sailed the seas, lassie.
I've never
Made him a
drank
laugh.
before.
Green as grass. Well, Brom, it's good to see you. Never thought you'd just turn up on my doorstep like this. Sent out searches and I like to look for you. But, seems like you've ran yourself into a fair bit of trouble. A lot of folks watching you. Xanathar and the like, we've had to keep our distance in case we get into any trouble. We don't want no business with them lot.
I could see why. I could see why.
Aye, well, it's a surprise you're washed up here. Something strange happened to you and I. Some of it's clear to me, the rest is still foggy, but every day this lot and their Kraken gods, they help me. You see, the beast out there in the depths speaks to us. I've heard it with my own ears, Captain. It's no lie. Nor is it no fairy tale or magic. It's real enough, this creature. Of the ocean old. Older than any of us. I thought the Kraken was just a tale. It's real. And it knows more than any beast has the right to know. But still,
What do you mean?
it was there
What are you
that
talking
night,
about?
Captain. It was there that night 10 years ago. It sees all. All that happens in the oceans. All that happens in the seas. The Kraken is now the ruler of that ocean. Though not always was that the case. You see, something happened on that island to us, Captain, 10 years back. Something else used to rule these oceans. And whatever we did on that island changed that. And now the Kraken rules. And its power is great. It holds dominion over all, including myself, for my sins. It told me a lot. Helped me to understand some of what happened that night. You see, it was no strange wind that led that mist onto that island. No. It was a being which used to rule over these seas. How much do you know of jinn and the like, Captain? The likes of genies and the folk who can create wishes.
Not much more than we had when when I was a kid. There was, there's the fairy tales of such. Never met such
Aye.
before.
Well, strange things abound in the dark quarters of the ocean. More than just a Kraken, you see, these creatures, untold godly powers, make pacts and deals with mortal men. Wishes and the like, they'll grant to you, but at a price, always at a price. There was one such being, the King of the West Wind, as he was known, Jin Alcazor. It's unlikely you've heard the name. Only those who've whispered to the Kraken have. He used to rule that island. That was his home. A strange mist poured in on us, Captain. He didn't want us to leave. You know, it's gonna be hard to believe, Brom, but we died that day, you and I. More than just our bodies. Our souls, too. Jin Alcazor, the King of the West Wind, dragged our bodies down into the watery depths and held us there for 10 long years. That was when the Kraken came. Let us out of there. I'm saying that it wants you as well as me, Brom. This creature of the ocean. It let us out for a reason. Jin Alcazor was defeated, but his prisoners were not set free just with his death. Something had to come knocking to find us down in that deep locker of death. And that was he. Our god, the Kraken. He sent us back here for a purpose, Brom. What that purpose is hasn't come clear to me yet. But he says that he wants to speak with you. To tell you what that is. To tell you what was on that shipment that was so precious that Jin Alcazor, king of the West Wind, tore out our souls and our bodies and tracked us down into his locker. So what do you say, Brom? You wish to speak with the beast?
I take it I'm going to speak with it either way. If it is a god who does control such, if I am a revenant of the ocean, I do wish to speak to my creator and know more about what has happened, so I could live whatever this is.
Aye. Well, it's good that you wish to speak to it on your own accord. One way or another, it will be heard. It's nice that things don't have to get nasty. As for the rest of you, can they be trusted, Brom?
Aye. They're all I have.
Very well. He looks at the two of them. If you wish to turn back, now would be the time. Some things can't be unseen. Some things can't be unheard.
Flynn would take
If you're looking at-
huge...
Sorry.
Yeah, Flynn would take a huge draw of the rum, and with a smile, he would set it down and turn towards Bennett and say, No. This is just my speed. And for the first time since I got out, I think we're making good decisions.
We're getting answers.
If you're looking at
Yeah, we are.
Turn Tides, he's there's more of an acceptance on his face, as if these words that have been said that he's never heard nor thought of would ever happen. There's a sort of like a subconscious realization long ago that these words would be said at some point.
What about you, little missy? You feel like coming along?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. I will be coming along. Thank you for this drink. It's very potent. And, like, she saw Flynn, like, down the rest of his, so she's gonna try to take another big swig, and she's gonna get it down, but she's gonna be coughing and spluttering and just...
Would you like another?
There you are.
No, I think I'm okay. I think I'm good.
Now you're drinking like you're on a crew.
I finish mine as well.
Okay. Well, and it's to the ocean with us. Come. Everything's been prepared.
Flynn, if I die, I think it was the rum.
Probably
You die will
was.
be at my hand.
And I turn and walk out.
Outside, there is a little rowboat which the Kraken Society have placed into the sea, and are clearly going to man out as you guys head into the depths of the ocean. Bennett, jumps on and bids you to follow him as well. Come on, it's a fine night for it.
Flinrich would take off his jacket, revealing his, ripped prison physique, and he would take up one of the oars or both if it's a small enough rowboat.
Sure. Ah, that's a spirit. Come aboard, Captain Drexel. He holds out a hand for Drexel in a faux gentleman sort of.
Wait, isn't it not good luck to have a lady aboard?
As he pauses for a joke and then he bursts out.
Gotta get on. Get aboard.
Okay.
Could be the rum.
Not
It could be the trust. Who knows?
You wouldn't get it. That's an in-joke. Only pirates know.
It's also a saying. A lot of people actually.
So confused, but she's just gonna
sexist
get
trade,
in.
actually.
And sit just a corner of the boat.
So, Flynn takes you out on the water as the rest of the Kraken Society waits almost jubilant to see Captain Bromley leaving. Several of them raise their lanterns as they go and sort of raise their palms up as well in some kind of farewell, but clearly somewhat symbolic or religious way as well. They just sort of ooh, it's happening, guys! It's happening!
Goodbye!
That's how they wave.
So you're taken out into the sea, and it seems like a long time that you're out here. It's actually closer to dawn than it is to midnight at this point. It's pretty deep into the darkest night, where it's almost impossible to see anything but the lighthouses from Waterdeep, which are out here. As the gloom settles in around you, Captain Bennett points to Drexel and says, "There's a reason we meet." Well, maybe he's a captain now, but Bennett at the very least. Formerly First Mate Bennett, potentially captain. It's a mutiny, yar! He points towards...
That's what's going on.
Yeah, he points towards Drexel and says, "There's a reason we'll be needing you, Missy. Hand it over."
She'll kind of look over at Flinrich and be like, "Oh," then she'll pull out the illithid tentacle and hand that over.
He clasps it and he looks at it with a almost ecstatic sort of joy on his face. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
You needed to get your hands on this one. And he throws it down into the ocean.
He died like a bitch.
As that happens, a cool and dark mist draws in around you, and you feel something circling in the water. You don't see a fin like a shark, you just feel a big displacement of water. Something big is underneath the ship and moving around it. For a second you think you see a scale shining through the darkness of the water, and something moves past the corner of the boat, and it's so small on this boat that any small movement in the water is enough to really rock the boat, and whatever is below you is clearly huge. A voice then enters, not into the space, but into your minds instead. And it's a presence which is deeply uncomfortable, and right in the center of your frontal cortex is right here is where the voice is and where you sense the presence. And the voice says, "Captain Bromley! Captain! Oh, how I've longed to be here." You sense the presence almost feeling its way around the space in which it's in. It's deeply uncomfortable as it settles into that center of your head and actually moves back towards the back of your head, where you can feel it almost as though it's just right behind you, slithering in and out behind you. "And you, Drexel, Yes, long have you carried this for me. I thank you for bringing it back to me where it belongs. And Flinrich, my agent of chaos, it is good to feel what you feel. That hatred, burning hot. Oh, how I long for the flames to flicker across Waterdeep. To see that with you would be such a pleasure.
See that? Good decisions. I knew it.
Yes. Every decision that you have made up until now in your life has been leading you to this very moment where you meet me, your god, Slagrafel.
Slagrafel.
Slagrafel, and how do I spell that? If I was writing this down in my notes,
If I was writing this down
how
inside
would
the brain,
how would I write?
how would one? 2 A's, a G, maybe.
Put it in the fancy grounds there for you guys.
One or two Q's, right?
This is the
I
Q
was
is
way
silent.
off.
So the question remains, are you going to follow me, Bromley, your savior?
You said it yourself, my lord. You have saved me. Or you hadn't saved me, but you did. Bring me back. So I could then live and be with my, well, crew, my family, as it was. So I could say goodbye to them. And so I could do whatever it is you wish. So I am here. To what means for any sort of weapon or soldier or courier, whatever it may be, I am uncertain as of yet.
All as more akin to a tool than a weapon. You see, I have watched each and every one of you. Drexel, long have I watched your family neglect and abuse you. You have never felt as though you belonged in anything but shadow. And shadow is what I am. I too understand what it is to never be loved, never be accepted, except from those who are similarly unaccepted. Flinrich, the cruel fate which befell you. You know, I was well aware of you back when you were a wizard at the height of your powers. I hope you don't take this as any offense, but you're on a kill list. You see, you were too powerful. We worried about you. Foolish were we. Foolish indeed. For what I saw, what I witnessed when you were in jail all of those long years. Was something more powerful than ever we feared before. Bromley, you are the catalyst for all of this. When you found what you found on that island and stole it from Jin Alcazor, you see what happened that night, Captain Bromley. What you stumbled across was something beyond your comprehension. Now, Jin Alcazor made away with your body and soul, killed you and Bennett here, and dragged you down into his watery depths. But before he could make off with his precious little shipment, I managed to steal it away, and I've been holding on to it ever since. Watching it as it changes hands through Waterdeep. Many hands have placed it upon this shipment, but none have dared to look inside. The Xanathar Guild now have it. Oh yes, they do. But they fear to open it. Would you like to know what's inside?
More than anything.
Sure. I'm sure.
But I'm not sure if I could handle it. Again.
Very few can. All become clear in time. But most importantly, we must secure this gift from the gods. We must save the world. And if, in the doing so, we must burn all of Waterdeep, well, that is the price we must pay, my friends. I offer you this, those who are not already in my service. I, Slagrafel, the Kraken, will grant unto you powers and resources beyond your comprehension to win me back this great gift. I will let you do whatever it is you wish to do to this city, and in return, you will deliver the gift to me. I do not, as the gangs of Waterdeep here, adhere to any laws, any rules, any codes. We live by the rule of the sea, changing and immutable. The Kraken Society call it their pirate's code. Their little minds can barely comprehend power at their fingertips. But I think you understand what it is that I am proposing. If you fail, you will die. If you succeed, many others will die instead. What say you?
Yes.
Immediately, I love it. Yes, before Brom. So good.
I would say I owe you my life, but you already have that.
More than that, Captain Brumley. Your soul granted back to you upon delivery. Insurance. I'm sure you understand.
With all due respect, I'm waiting for you to get on with it so I can continue what it is you need me to do. You know exactly that I'm with you. You know I'm here for that reason, and I think I now know too. What is it? Tell me. I have to know.
You wish to know what is inside.
There are pieces of who I am missing from my psyche. And you are the one who holds that. You hold the key to the vault that is empty inside my brain. Of what it is that makes me me. Memories. Me. Crew. And you're still holding me hostage for it.
You see, Captain Bromley.
Will be with you. Just what is it, my lord?
I understand. This is very frustrating for you. You sense that it does not care. It does not seem to have any empathy in its tone.
I don't think even Bromley's looking for empathy. He just wants to know what it is he needs to get done. He knows, because like at this point, it's not like, oh, my lord, I'm with you. It's you have me hostage. I get it. Let me do this so I can
go over a barrel.
have my stuff back. Yeah. He's done this before in his profession, and he's done this so many times. He's being held hostage by a god, something that is more than him. He's never been religious. He's always been. There are gods and there are things that he just doesn't meddle with, and he doesn't care to communicate with them, and he never looked to because there's no reason to. He knew that he was below, and that's where he'd like to stay, on the reef,
Right.
or on like down with the bottom feeders, and that's where he is. So now even like this whole thing, he sees them as people, but he's never needed to talk to them. So now he's just like, I know what you're doing. We are built in your image, if you say, and now we are here to. And you are holding me hostage like I have held so many before. So it's just like, what is it you need to get done? I'll get it done so I can then die. He's because now he knows that he's living. You're right. He's living this tortured curse just so he can get whatever it is done. But he still has no subconscious reason to do it, or subconscious. He just needs to be told literally what to do because he's missing those pieces of his brain to know what to do.
Yeah.
I guess that's his frustration. He knows that he may not get any empathy, and he doesn't care. But it's just about, what is it?
Definitely. Slockerfell says, there is one who will be attending the casino night, which you have all put on.
Oh, yeah, you know
Her
about
name
that.
is Carolyn. She is a jailer that I believe Flinrich is intimately acquainted with. She is the key to getting inside the Xanathar Guild's vault. That is the true heist that you will need to achieve. For inside lies the shipment. That is what you must find for me. Use her in whatever way you deem fit. Extract the information from her, torture her, seduce her, whatever it is that works. I'll leave that up to Flinrich to decide.
I have a
Cherry on
request.
top. What?
You know what she took from me, right?
Everything.
Give me one spell.
I'll do you one better. Captain Bennett. And Bennett looks towards Turntides. There's a look of almost like sheepishness or like a little bit of guilt flashes across his eyes.
In Turntide's rage, he's gonna take out the flintlock and fire an icicle into the first time actually using harmful magic into Bennett.
Are you going to try and kill him?
Yeah. It could be a little bit of jealousy that now he's been called captain by a god, or that he also wants to just ascend to be the now captain for this god. So just immediately and just shoots a and he was hoping it would be he was hoping it would be not an icicle. But he fires out of rage, and I don't even know what I have for spells. Frostbite. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna ice knife. I rolled it in the wrong one.
So good. You never know what you roll.
Oh god, I'm on 3 different things here.
So many tabs.
So many things.
So many tabs, so little time.
That should have been a roll.
There it is.
16?
16's a hit. Yep, that's a hit.
And does a D10. And then I push him back 10 feet as well.
That's so awesome. Wow.
So 9 damage.
You blast him for 9 points of damage. Yeah. This ice knife pierces through Captain Bennett's throat, sends him flying backwards as he just managed to get something out of his pocket, which thumps to the ground of the boat as he is dragged off into the sea. And you hear him spluttering there for a moment. And then and there is this huge wave of water which is thrown up. And you immediately see that Captain Bennett is no longer there as he is pulled down as something yanks on his leg with an incredible force. And you all feel, and this is very strange, you all feel a sense of elation into your mind as the creature, like Kraken, also feels this enjoyment from eating Bennett as blood enters up into the dark waters of the sea.
I grab whatever it was on the ground and I say,
You are my lord, as you requested, from your captain.
It is a vial that you are holding in your hand, and Flinrich remembers and recognizes this vial instantly. This burns magic out of you, and this is exactly what Carolyn used on you. As you know, Slakerfell says, "I'll do one better," and gives you that as well.
Oh, okay, it's yours.
Flynn-
Here you go.
Yeah. Flinrich would take a look at it.
Hot potato.
Thank you. Appreciated.
how does I just want to know, how does Flinrich feel now that, one, that he has that vial, and two, that Turntides possesses magic
And murdered a
He's
man
not
in front of his eyes.
and murdered a man?
He loves that. Yeah, I mean,
He loves
this is.
that.
I'll get a little meta for you, but this is exactly what Flinrich wanted. He's given him this jailer. He's in. He's pushed his chips to the center of the table. This was a great decision. Everything about this entire last hour and a half, he's loved. Now, the fact that Brahm can use magic, that's even better. There's magic. I mean, he can't use it or touch it, but hey.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, if somehow the essence travels through the Kraken into everybody else, oh, man, I mean, he's like orgasmic. So.
Yeah, it's just
This is so cool. Whoa, 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 he did that. Oh,
yeah.
this is great.
Okay, cool.
Okay, Slakerfell slivers to the front of your mind, Drexel. What of you, Drexel? What is the price that I must pay for your loyalty? Your chaos?
Can I think on that? Can we put a pin in this
I'm
conversation?
afraid not,
Get back.
Drexel. You are
Okay.
either in or you're out right now.
But you see, this might be a slight conflict of interest because there's another deity who's really like invested in me. Like it's
Tell
in my
me.
blood.
I am sure I know them very well.
You ever heard of a hell?
Hell. He spits out the word.
One of his planets are kind of knocked up my mom.
How
So
distasteful.
yep, that's the word I would definitely use. Uh-huh.
Turntides can't help but smirk.
What has Helm done for you lately, Drexel? Your own family disowned, your best friends dead in front of your eyes. No money to your name worthless.
These are all very good points.
Where has your god been, Drexel? Have you spoken to him lately?
Well, you
Has
see,
he
I was going,
deigned to grace you with his presence?
Is this in our minds too?
Yeah, you can heal us.
Okay.
whew, this is a conversation I wasn't expecting to have tonight.
More rum.
You just pass the fucking Drambuie, over you go. Just get on the harder stuff. It's all that Bennett has. It's just rum and Drambuie.
It's Campari, I'm sorry. It tastes like a dandelion, I know. Bennett's a weirdo.
It's a flowery soft captain. I like it.
Yeah, shrimp cocktail.
Well,
Or cocktail.
I'm down to help Flintridge and Turntides, Captain Turntides. Yep. She's kind of giving like the help me eyes to Flintridge. Like I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Slockerfell says, I don't know about you two, but I'm not sure I quite believe Drexel.
Oh no, I mean, we need her. How about
Do
this?
you? Do I? That's different.
Well, let me pose a story for you for a bit. If you have somebody who mentioned the H word, and that H word never did anything for her, but you do, wouldn't that be a fun story to tell?
Yeah.
You took one of those little Helmites.
I don't need to whore myself out to every little mortal who comes my way as a disbeliever. I don't barter for loyalty. I take it.
Don't disbelieve. We are on a tiny rowboat on a very large ocean, and you're very godly.
I just get the feeling, Drexel, that when I'm no longer in this position here under this boat, and you are back on solid ground. Good Lord, is
Perfect
she
time to
just
freeze. Just chugging away.
This transitions to our AA meeting about drinking and dragons.
This on learn by play.
When you're really stressed with D&D, there's just
I just back that.
it froze in that perfect spot. I mean,
So I've heard. I have a feeling when you're no longer in this position,
Yeah,
when I'm no longer
back
in this
on-
position under this boat,
yes,
and I was
when
like,
you're
oh
back
my.
on solid ground, that you might go back to your little helm.
Well, once I commit to something, I don't
think you
go
might
back on
tell
it.
on me.
Can
Oh,
Flintridge
no, I'm not-
send
I'm
something
not
in his
stupid
mind
enough
to
to
her
do that.
to?
You can send a message.
Can I send a message just to the Kraken and not to anybody else?
You think
try,
real
sure.
hard. It is general direction.
If you like, if you focus on the feeling at the front of your head, you just chug a gallon of water, and then you can really do it.
Just drink a gallon of seawater.
You just
What you do is you snort it through your nose, and then you squirt it through your eye while you think about it into the
While
water.
sorting a
And
bird
that's the
soul.
only
We
way.
can do. We've talked about
Yeah.
that. You can do that.
Exactly. You're right. Your milk
Uh,
quart.
You can do milk out your eye.
Good lord, no.
Fine,
Yeah, if you
kinda roleplay.
focus on the feeling in the front of your head until it eclipses everything else, then yeah, you can speak to the Kraken. What do you say?
Okay, well, he says even if anybody else can hear him, Flintridge, to kind of keep the fears of the Kraken aside, Flintridge would say, if we're not in this position and she betrays our course, I'll kill her.
Very well. Back in global chat, Sluggerfell.
Drexel's like in
read
the
past them.
boat, like tentatively coughing from a flask of rum and sweating bullets. Like I'm just a little asthma. I don't know what to do.
Sluggerfell says, "You know what, Drexel? I've had a
What?
change of
Oh, I'm
hearts.
so glad. Maybe.
Yes. The useful thing about having 7 hearts is that you can have many
Oh.
changes in
That's an
them.
awful lot. Okay.
I have decided to grant you clemency in exchange for one very simple favor. Visit the Temple of Helm.
That's it.
That's all.
I can definitely do that. That's just it. Just visit.
I'm
Go.
sure it's well within your capabilities to do that.
I do have 2 legs, and if we make this boat back to shore, that'll be the first thing I do.
I would love for that to be the case.
Okay. Great. Fantastic.
Very well. Then your mission is clear to all of you. Find Carolyn and find me the shipment which is inside Lazanafar's vault. Kill anyone in your path. Burn anything that gets in your way. Apologize to no one. Very well. May a favorable wind send you on your way. And as the mist clears, you feel a heavy wind blowing you sort of back to shore. Flimrich, you can take up the oars once again and find your way back to the Kraken Society. It is... it looks like they were not expecting Bennett to return, as the 19 or so other Kraken Society cultists are all bowed down and repeat in unison, Captain Bromley, Captain Bromley.
Oh god, I didn't even think of that.
Captain Bromley, Captain Bromley.
Jeez.
And they just seem to be chanting this over and over.
Turn tides, it's turn tides, it's turn tides, thank you, it's turn tides.
You correct them every time.
It's my family calls me that. No, it's turn tides. Yeah.
This is the greatest decision we've ever made as a group. This was the best.
I know, right? This is amazing.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I think so.
I try to keep my cool.
Listen, what are we looking like? What's the coffers looking like? Do we have 100,000 gold in there? We've got people we have to pay back. So do we?
No, we need
What do we have to look?
It is 20.
18.
Yes, 18. Technically 18. Yes.
Oh, 18. We only need 18,000. That's it. It's not so bad.
As the the cult stop there chanting, a sniveling looking halfling approaches you from beneath his robe and says, my lord, Captain Turntides, yes, the coffers are at your disposal. What is it that you need, my lord?
That was easy. All right. So, what are we looking at? What's the numbers looking like?
And he starts walking around the sunken deck of this ship as if it was his own, and he starts to as if it was the most straight his back has been in a while, as his confidence is now boosted by a divine energy.
Yeah, they
and
follow
back
you
into his
around.
Captain, like, yeah.
Yeah, they're just right behind
For a moment,
you
you guys
the whole
probably
time.
like, oh, there's Brom. Brom's back, and yeah, and then I ask about what's in the coffers, how much we have, how much is that for business, how much can I use of that, blah 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 blah. Because I would love to pay back some of the people that the Xanthar or the
All
Zentrim,
of the
excuse me.
riches of the ocean are now yours, my lord, as they are ours. He shows you to the treasury. And there is a total of 40,000 gold pieces in gold and jewels in these coffers.
Best decision ever.
The gods wishes for you to have anything that you would want, my lord. I will be your humble servant, and the quartermaster of Charybdis in the Kraken Society. Mrs. PC just crashed. She's going to be right back.
We can
I think he's
finally
lost
bring back
audio.
Reagan to Earth. Yes.
Oh, it's on. Flinrich is just like flexing. He's just, this is the proof. He's just back and forth as every plan that he's had for 10 years is like 10 steps closer than he ever thought he would be to it. As he's just bouncing back and forth, staring at everybody, clapping these weirdos on the back. Just, yeah! Whoa! Kraken!
They were like super nerds in comparison. They were like super skinny little library geeks. And you're like crunching them in bro hugs and like...
Yes, my lord. Anything that you would desire is yours, as comes from the ocean. All things come to the ocean and return to the ocean. My name is Jakar.
Jakar, nice to meet you.
You know, so he gives a slightly distrustful look over towards Drexel.
This one, she stinks of Helm.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll get it off of her.
Get it off of her.
Get some of those dead fish, just scrub her up. Let's do this at a party. More of that rum.
Sorry, it's in my blood.
Yes,
I would take
lord.
rum though. I think my inhibitions are gone. I don't know what I'm doing. Should I be drinking water? I don't know how drinking works.
They give you more rum, and they're like sort of getting into the party atmosphere as well. It would seem, as they are sort of on deck of the Charybdis, they are chanting and celebrating the return of their Messiah, Captain Turntides. So they're having a great time. I think you're muted at the moment, Myth. Don't worry about that too much. I'm sure. Yeah.
I can fill in for you. Awesome decision.
Easy.
There it is. To find the Kraken Society.
Yeah. So as you, Greg's saying, what a good decision it was to join the Kraken Society.
Yeah.
And best membership ever. Yeah.
Not what I was expecting.
And so, as you guys celebrate aboard the beached ship Charybdis, and the cultists begin their ritual rites and initiation and the like to welcome you guys home at last, and 40,000 gold pieces in the coffers for you guys to use. That is where we're going to end tonight's episode of Learn by Play, as I come to a natural stop there, where we've just made some very big decisions. Sid's gonna come back next week and be like, "What the fuck did you do?"
Don't worry about it. We paid everything. Don't worry about it.
All our debts. Don't worry, honey. All of our debts are gone. What? Oh dear.
It was best decisions ever.
Best decisions ever. So hopefully you guys there in the chat enjoyed tonight's show. If you did, let us know. You can follow us over on twitch.tv/Encounter Roleplay for more RPG action, or you can find us here every Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific for more good stuff. But that's all we've got time for, so let's go around to cast and crew. Did we enjoy ourselves? And of course, where can we find you guys online? And let's start with Myth. How was that tonight, my friend? Oh, you are muted. Let's go to Greg for now, and we'll come back to Myth.
Oh man, I had a blast. This was I was trying to think of.
There we are.
There you are. I was trying to think of a way to get everybody out of the position that we were in, so we could kind of clean the slate. And wow, this was like better than I thought it was just going to get worse. It only gets worse when we play this game. It probably is worse, but it just seems so much better. It seems like we're taking steps in the right direction. We got 40k in gold pieces. Oh, I'm set. Flinrich is happy. I'm happy. I'm Jaegering Flinrich, so you know, a happy Jaeger is a good Jaeger. Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. You can see me there and see me on my channel as I stream role-playing games. Also over on Encounter Roleplay and Unmade Gaming and all those great places. Join me on the Twits and we will talk about this great night for Flinrich and his buddies. Until next week.
Yay! And let's go back to Myth.
Good God. I don't know if I could say how excited I am. I don't know if there are any words that can describe how much I love what it is that happened tonight. But it was amazing. I'm really happy to be like a sea messiah, a messiah, if you will, of the Kraken cult. That's fucking cool. And especially with me, I love Krakens, tentacles, things like that. Cool, awesome stuff. The
brand.
Deep. So it just made sense. It was very on brand, and especially with it was just really cool how it all went down. I was expecting us to go to that place and them to do some weird like sea magic, and then me being like, "Oh, I remember everything." But that was just way cooler. I don't know. I'm over the moon about it. Very excited. Can't wait to talk about it. Exactly. Follow me on Twitter as well. Let's chat about it. @me, bro. God, that was great. I don't know how to. That was nuts. That was absolutely crazy. I'm so excited. We are out of debt, maybe. I wanted to tell you all that I spoke to Will during that entire thing, and I'm actually going to change my race to a human revenant in the Unearthed Arcana. It's going to be pretty sweet. Apparently, if you're below half your health hit points, I have relentless nature. The DM assigns a goal for me. And then I have a whole bunch of bonuses because of it. If you're below half hit points, I gain 1 hit point every time. If I die, I return to life in 24 hours. My body's destroyed, reform 1 mile of the place I died. I know the distance and the direction of you and any creature involved in my goal, which is really cool. So just cool fluff and stuff about it just makes more narrative sense to go down this path anyway, because I was risen as a sea revenant. So just really cool stuff. I'm excited to check it out and learn more. I was debating to go into Paladin, but I think I'm going to keep going into Sea Sorcerer, but now with Revenant. I'm excited. Good God, this is going to be fun.
Love it. Can't love it anymore.
Yep.
Drexel had a big episode tonight. Lindy, how was that?
I freaking loved it. I too love Krakens and tentacles and oceany things. However, I feel like this episode could just be called Drexel's Bad Day, because her whole world just got like stuck in an Etch-a-Sketch board, and someone went and like erased all of it. And she just doesn't know what to do. She's hesitant to make any deals or talk to anyone that's not really Turntides or Flinridge. And especially other deities, because she's like, yeah, I'm kind of half celestial, so I don't know how that's going to work out that well. And so it's just not great. First thing she's probably going to do next episode is go to that Temple of Helm, some level intoxicated, and wake up super hungover the next day. It's probably going to go super bad, but we'll see. I'm really excited to see how this changes her as a character and how she grows from it. Maybe she'll kind of go off the deep end and we'll be like, oh yeah, hell yeah, Slarkathil to the end. Or maybe she'll kind of just kind of stay on that line, that fence. We'll see. I'm really excited. I don't know until we get more story, and I can't wait for next week.
Yes. Yeah, love me some Slackerfell, love me some Kraken Society, love me some Stonking's Thunder influences coming into Waterdeep. Why not mash them all up? And
you said Slackerfell, I was like, I know that guy.
He's the best villain. Like the that's one of my favorite villains from all the Stonkings. I felt, and definitely makes sense. The Slackerfell is up to no good in Waterdeep. No, I made it up when you guys were like, I want to go to the Kraken Society, so I was like, Sloggerfell, Stonking's Thunder, this is awesome.
Sweet!
So,
Hell yeah.
History check. So,
I was like, they thought of everything in this book. That's sick.
Wow, this is a great time. Yeah. Oh, man. That's some great stuff. Well, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's show and had a good time. We'll be back next week with a full cast and crew for some more Kraken-based adventures. But until then, my friends, try not to throw too many nat ones, because we want to be there laughing when you do. Good night, everybody.